It's that time to check in, to tune in, and master your own energy. This is a show where you get to tune into all the energy going around in the cosmos and see how it might be impacting us here on Earth. And we get to speak to amazing individuals who are here to share their endless tools and wisdom on how they're navigating these ever-changing times. And of course, I'm your host, Sara Wong, and it's my honor to be here with you today to guide you through all of the energy and so much more. And after serving thousands of clients, it's so fun to bring all the tools and knowledge that supported them in manifesting their dreams, healing their body, and moving their life forward in effortless ways each and every day. So with that, let's dive into the energy going on right now. Hello. This is Sara Wong here on Master Your Energy. And this week we are in the last official week of Aries season. And Aries is that fire energy, the first of the astrological calendar, which really is that new beginning energy. It's asking us to move forward in ways that feel aligned for our highest good. We just got off the energy of the new moon in Aries this past Sunday, and if you're feeling a little exhausted and needing time to recalibrate, just give yourself space. Yes, there's so much opening up in terms of clarity and where we want to put our energy, new momentum. However, this is a very, very crucial time of finding balance. Sometimes when we have those new beginnings and those things are starting to reopen here in LA, things are starting to feel a little overwhelming, right? There's a lot of demands or expectations, and we have to go inward and ask ourselves, what is in my alignment, and what does this really feel like? Now, with this new moon in Aries this past weekend, gave a lot of people clarity on what they're ready to step into. And some of this might be a new job. It might be you moving somewhere new. It might also be just seeing a new way to approach whatever challenges you might be facing, whether it's really honing in on finances, creating a new budget, or are looking at your reality in a new way. Can you take your life to the next level? Now, with Aries energy, it can also feel very judgmental, critical, like you're not doing enough, like things are just not working out, and that could be discouraging for some. So this is important why you want to stay balanced whenever we're in a fire energy. Fire energy loves to move forward, loves to transmute, loves to really see energy and things manifest. And sometimes when we don't see those early results, discouragement, hyper criticism can come in. So Aries season is really all about balance. And that's why, to me, Aries and Libra are so connected and opposite sign of each other, because they both need each other in different ways sometimes. And believe me, I'm a Libra at heart. 70% of my astrological chart is in Libra, which is air. And air can be visionary, it can be vision driven, and it could also be all over the place, getting stuck in a lot of thought and analysis paralysis, right? And so with new beginnings comes doubt, comes limitations, and we're moving into a time and space where new technology is coming to the surface, new ways of living, new opportunities to share ourselves, and more than ever before, especially with technology at the forefront of that, especially in this pandemic. The era of the pandemic is moving into new ways of living with nuances of different situations, different realities each and every moment. And what's required is an opportunity to ask ourselves in each time, what feels available for me to move forward for my highest good? And using that as a compass in ever times of change. And that's exactly the energy we're in right now, is a forward momentum, and yet having to find clarity and navigate a completely new reality. So again, this is a time to, yes, start being accountable and aware of what no longer serves you, but also start to step into a rhythm that feels alive, feels momentum, feels available for you in each moment. And that is just asking yourself, what is here for me? And if you're in a situation where you feel a little overwhelmed, exhausted, frustrated, those energies typically in Aries season show up because they're ready to evolve. And all you got to do is step into asking yourself, why is this here again? Why is this repeating? And what in my power can I do to evolve this? And if the answer is nothing, it is a surrender. And I know a lot of people are having to step into the energy of surrender. And sometimes this could feel like you have a lot of ideas and you're doing everything in your power, but for some reason those opportunities aren't coming in. So the good news about the energy of this week is we're in the last week of Aries season. So this fiery start to the new year astrologically per the zodiac calendar speaking, that is, usually an energy of forward movement. So we're moving forward in different ways, gaining clarity, gaining balance, gaining new perspectives. And then also we have some interesting energy this week that is supposedly supposed to bring unexpected opportunities. So the reason I said, if you feel a little stagnant, like you've done everything you can, but you're still like not seeing things move forward, allow your commitment to your goals, commitment to yourself, guide you, because I guarantee you there's something unexpected coming your way, whether it's a new idea, a new partnership, a new relationship, new energy wanting to come forward. So not only that, we are in the last week of Aries. So use this fire energy to really move out anything that no longer serves you. And that's just acknowledging it and committing to a new way of being. And so I thought about this week's energy, and I'm so grateful because I'm very fortunate to have two people that not only have done this in their lives, but really this is how they live, is being in fluid energy of their goals, their dreams, their ambitions, and leveraging new technology, new ways of thinking to do that. And not only that, but sharing it with others, leading others across the world. And today on this show, I'm so excited to have these two individuals to share all their wisdom and tools and trips tips and tricks on how they've navigated this pandemic, and also words of wisdom to really invite into our space of these ever changing times, because I truly believe, and I know a lot of us believe this is an opportunity, as especially in LA, as we reopen, we can now decide how we want to move our energy forward, and being very aware of that energy, and choosing which friends we want to put our time and energy into, maybe also choosing what profession you want to put your time and energy into, and where you want to invest your time and energy into. And so these two individuals have done that. And before I go even further in introducing them, let me play the clip to do that for me in this moment, but also to really give you an idea of where these two individuals have been. And then we're going to dive into all the energy of new beginnings and how to really elevate our lives to the next level. If you're just tuning in, this is Master Your Energy on KCAA Radio, the station that leaves no listener behind. And I'm your host, Sara Wong. Every week, we're going to dive into the energy around us and bring on guests who are here to share their tips, tools, and wisdom on how they're navigating these ever-changing times. And by no mistake, these two individuals that I have on the show today have done just that. Welcome to the show, Taryn Lee, a global brand partner to Healy, who's also a successful digital entrepreneur passionate about helping people navigate the new world of vibrational health, wealth, and wellness. We also on the show today, Max Taryn, a global top leader at Healy, who's also into real estate and passionate advocate for building teams and making dreams come true. So let's dive into the energy of new beginnings, finding balance, and taking our lives to the next level. Let's dive in. Welcome, Taryn and Max. Thank you for being here on the show today.
Thank you for having us. We're very excited to be here with you.
Thank you, Sarah. Nice to be here.
So you two are so inspiring, because this whole pandemic, you've really been traveling the world and inspiring others for staying connected to their frequencies, their health, their wellness, probably supporting people from all around the world through these ever-changing times. So before we dive into all that you're up to, we'd just love to hear and share your story. Taryn, let's start with you because recently, and I would love to just honor you, celebrate you. You were published in Forbes of being a thought leader within technology and how it's leading business forward. And you've obviously taken your business, your life to the next level during this time of pandemic by inspiring others, and so grateful for that. So we'd love to hear your journey and anything you want to share about your experience over the last year.
Wow, thank you so much. My experience over the last year, hasn't it been absolutely crazy times? But it's been, I feel like, a time where for those of us that really want to shine the light on freedom and I guess maybe alternative ways of living and health and healing, I found that, in this time, we've just really exploded that, and people's interest and curiosity around, how to live a freedom lifestyle or how to heal their bodies in different ways has just exploded. So it's always been a huge interest for us, but certainly within our communities, it's like tenfolded people's curiosity.
Yeah, freedom lifestyle. Let's just tap into that. Freedom lifestyle. Is that even an option here on Earth? And it is, because that is exactly what the two of you are doing. So let's talk about, what is freedom lifestyle? What does that mean to you?
Oh, what's that mean? I guess it means the ability to live where you want, do what you want, hang around the people that you want to, is to have the freedom to
decide.
Choice.
Yeah,
choice. It's choice. Yeah.
Yep. And what was required of you? Has that always been a part of who you've been at a young age? Have you always been an independent woman who has just wanted to see the world for herself? Or is that something that you realized was very important as an adult? Where did that really stem from?
Yeah, I think I always had definitely a love of freedom, and I definitely always had this slight rebellious side. I'm an Aquarian, so we have this little humanitarian and rebellious side to us. But actually, it wasn't until I was sort of in my 30s that I'd had a 12-year career in corporate, and I was like, there must be more to life than this. I had a great job, I had a wonderful executive job, but I think there's got to be more to life than this. We get to live once. I want to see the world. I want to experience all the different cultures. I want to see what's really, really out there. And I threw in my job and literally moved to Bali in Indonesia and just created this incredible life of freedom, which I was very fortunate to be able to do by using online essentially. And since then I've traveled the world and lived in multiple countries and built lots of conscious freedom-loving communities in that as well, I guess. Also just being kind of the example of it too. So yeah.
Actually, we talked yesterday at dinner about that, quite interestingly, because I believe everybody in life has a choice. You always have a choice, right? Oftentimes, most of the people we seeking comfort, and that's why we don't do this choice, because everything what is unknown to us, we step into fear, right? And when we have some fear, usually we say let's stay there where it's comfortable. Right. So we decide normally to be where we are instead of stepping there, because we always find all kind of reasons to not go there. Right now I have my apartment I need to pay. I have my job that provides food for me and so forth. We always have these reasons to not go for it. But oftentimes in life, even it's maybe a toxic relationship you want to go out, or a job you don't like being in. When you then finally make that decision and say okay, I'm going to make that move forward and I'm going to do something where I don't know, I step into the unknown, I step into the fear. There's always one regret. And the regret always is why didn't I do this decision before? Why did I wait so long? Because we have to start trusting life and trusting this universe and trusting everything what comes with it. And life is happening for you. It's always happening for us, right? So there's always a way. Every decision is a decision. We go through a door that opens for us. So when we go through that door, there is something behind the door, and it's always magical. It's always beautiful. No matter what experience expect us. Is it combined with growth? Is it combined with learning? Is it combined with with a failure, which happens to be a learning and a growth, So it doesn't matter, but it always comes out to be very beautiful and good. But we just need to make that decision to go through that door and do that step. You have to do this.
Yes. Yes, Max. I love that. And well, since you're talking now, I would love to ask you this question is what door have you recently gone through that required you to trust yourself and that you were really surprised by recently?
Honestly, I think it's almost like a muscle you got to train, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have to start somewhere. And usually it's the first big decision in your life, no matter if it's a breakup, no matter if it's moving away from home, no matter if it's maybe changing the country, maybe changing the job, it becomes almost like a skill, a muscle you build. Because my first ever decision, or the biggest decision that most influenced my life, was I was a student in Germany. I started in a place somewhere in the mountains, and I was always believing when I'm a student, I want to study in a big city. I want to gain as much experience as possible. I want to meet as many people as possible. I want to make all these amazing contacts and friends. And then I ended up in a university in the Black Forest. It's a forest where me in Germany, it's beautiful. But
Yeah.
who would build a university in that forest? So there's like a community of 30,000 people, and I ended up there. I went depressed. I didn't like it. I was not happy to study there. So one thing came to another, and I just decided I want to go away from here. And I had an opportunity this time to go to Australia because my friends were traveling in Australia, where she come from, actually. Taryn is from Australia. And they were working in the Pilbara. The Pilbara is like the desert. It's like how do I describe that place? It's like
a desert.
It's a desert. Yeah. It's a place nobody really wants to be at, but you can make a lot of money there because you had the mining, or you still have the mining companies there, iron ore mining and so forth. And I was like 20 years old or 21 years old to this time. And I thought I want money because I was poor. I had no idea what I was like. I had no money, and it was boring. So in one night I was sitting there and I just clicked and booked the flight. And I thought, okay, what I did just now is I changed my whole life with that click. And I leave my studies behind. I leave my life behind. I leave my family behind, my friends who are so important to me, that I step out of this world. It was unthinkable. I thought, like, we grow up together, we die together, we do the same thing together, we are together. In this moment, I decided to change my life completely. I have no idea what would expect me. When I came to Australia, that was the moment everything changed. I was free. I saw different cultures. I met different people. I was able to make money. I was able to travel to Asia. I was able to see so many different things and have so many different impressions of life and the world, and finally get my head being outside the box. And when I came back to Germany a year later to continue my study, I felt so depressed. I came back in November. I remember that. I landed in Frankfurt. It was a cold, gray day. I was waiting for my luggage at the luggage van, and I saw this old German lady who's trying to get her heavy luggage off the luggage van. And there was a guy next to her, and he was just not helping. And that lady was being dragged by the luggage, and he was just standing there. And I think, like, why is he not helping, And I saw the faces of the people, and everybody seems so depressed. And I had this big smile on my face. And I think, like, wow, life is so magical. There's so many things to offer, right? So many places, people, and all these things. And then it went on and on for the next couple of months. And I saw all these things, and it was the routine. It was almost like a step back into a world where I was before. But I felt like my horizon expanded so much that I can't be there anymore. So 4 months later, I decided I have to go. And then I went to Thailand and studied in Thailand. And I lived there for like 7 years and built my business there and so forth. And it was really the first thing was the step to decide to go to Australia and change your life, right? Everything happened. And now it's like almost like an addiction, when you have this opportunity and it says, like, you have to go to this place and meet this amazing person. I will go. I have no idea what to expect, but I gotta go. And this is really, I believe everybody should do that, because life is supposed to be magical, and we cannot explore what is our divine contract, what we are here for, if we just stuck in our box. If we just do this, what we are not feeling, you have to tune in. I'm sorry, I talk too much, right?
It's like, you keep going. Well, first, let me ask this one question, because I think it's really important. So did you help that lady get her suitcase off of that?
I almost jumped over the thing. I was on the other side. I didn't.
Okay, fair.
Eventually, she was strong enough to take it herself.
Yep.
But if I would have stayed there, of course, I would have helped her.
Yes, right? Good. And that's what I love is, and that's your awareness to what is available, right? It's like, yeah, you could choose A or B. I can ignore that this person needs support, or I can acknowledge that, wow, there's a lot of people that aren't willing to even be aware of their environment or each other and how we're coexisting, right? And so that is such a pivotal story that you recalled, because I just see you in that moment of that awareness of like, nope, I am here for more than for just the day to day. And moving to Thailand, moving to Australia, moving to all these different countries, I'm sure that also offered a lot of perspective for you of what's available for life. So I know when you both have this different vision, because not many people, especially in the US, there's some people that have never left internationally and they only are even out of state. So, not to say that's wrong, but for them, this perspective seems not even available. But what you were saying, Max, was, hey, I was in a small forest in the middle of nowhere and I decided to take that leap of faith. That means anyone can. And that's when life can become magical.
Exactly.
And I love that.
Exactly. And oftentimes, most of us, we are comfortable, right? It's almost like sometimes a blessing to have like a disrupting bad situation in your life where you say, like, there's no way I got to change. I think the really difficult part is here, like, change something out of a comfortable situation in order to see growth. And understand we're not seeking comfort, but we're seeking growth in life. And when we understand that mindset, then we always go for it, right? It's actually interesting you say that, because I just went to the barber shop, and she came here also and brought me a coffee, Taryn. And I was sitting there, and talked to that guy, and he's from the Philippines. Mm-hmm. And I said, like, have you ever been to the Philippines? He said, no. Like, why not? And he's like, yeah, I don't have a passport. I don't know. I'm a little bit scared to go there. I said, you come from the Philippines. Your parents are from the Philippines. It's such a beautiful country. Go and explore. Look at all these things. It's like we almost like we look at each other like, why didn't he never go? Like, what's going on? And we understand like it's a different mindset. It's a different box kind of thinking that people just don't have there is fear. And it's like, we have to embrace fear, because after fear is growth. And this is always like that. So
I love that. Max, you are like the spokesperson for Aries season. It's like, let's just go through, dissolve all these fears, get them out of our way, and just go for it. That is exactly the energy that is being asked of us right now, is where are you willing to break free? And 2021 is the year of freedom, vibrationally speaking. It's the year of innovation, creativity, breaking free from the past. So no mistake, Aries season is also asking us to all step into that new rhythm. And, what I'm excited to have both of you talk about after the commercial break in a little bit is, tools that you're using to stay in your alignment. Because as you both mentioned, you're jet setters, right? You're world travelers, and you're also very well connected to scientists, innovators, activists, gurus, healers, shamans, who have all this wisdom. And I truly believe there's so much more for us to talk about in the power of frequency, the power of owning our health, our mindset, our wellness, and tools that can elevate us to those levels. So when we get back from the break, we're going to dive into all the tools that obviously the two of you are leading for the world in many different ways, and also anything else that you found has been supportive through this pandemic. Obviously, how you're navigating the pandemic is very different from, I would say, what most of us in LA, the Los Angeles area, is navigating. We've been in it, for California specifically speaking, for over a year now, right? And we're just starting to come out of it. We're just starting to, go outside again and move about our day. So, we're all expressing different desires of how we want to spend our time. And I believe that sometimes it's nice just to hear from people that have been in other parts of the world, other ideas and opportunities that, maybe crossed your mind, but are ready to finally explore. So when we get back from our commercial break, we're going to dive deeper into that. But real fast, I just want to say one thing. I love that the two of you have been to many different countries, because I truly believe that we are moving into a global consciousness. And I believe that the more we learn about different cultures and are able to support and understand cultures on a global scale, from an energetic standpoint, a frequency standpoint, a mindset standpoint, there's so much we can reintroduce into our day-to-day lives. So I can't wait to dive into the world of Healy, the world of being a multidimensional healer, traveler, and really activist of energy. So when we get back from the commercial break, we're going to dive into that world. So stay tuned, and you're not going to want to miss this second segment, because we're going to really explore wild topics and ways to dive deeper into your own energy and become your own energy master healer. So with that, we'll be right back after the commercial break, and we'll see you soon. If you're just tuning in, this is Master Your Energy on KCAA Radio, the station that leaves no listener behind. And I'm your host, Sara Wong. Every week we're going to dive into the energy around us and bring on guests who are here to share their tips, tools, and wisdom on how they're navigating these ever-changing times. And by no mistake, these two individuals that I have on the show today have done just that. Welcome to the show, Taryn Lee, a global brand partner to Healy, who's also a successful digital entrepreneur passionate about helping people navigate the new world of vibrational health, wealth, and wellness. We also on the show today, Max Taryn, a global top leader at Healy, who's also into real estate and passionate advocate for building teams and making dreams come true. So let's dive into the energy of new beginnings, finding balance, and taking our lives to the next level. Let's dive in. And we're back.
Hi.
It's about time now.
All right. I know you couldn't wait, right? So excited to share all the tips and tools. And, you know, Max is official energy of Aries season. So he's all about that new beginnings, transmuting fears, and moving your life to the next level. And then we have Queen Taryn, who's here to really support us in understanding how technology not only can work for wellness, our business, but also our mind, body, and soul. So Taryn, you were just featured in Forbes magazine. How was that? How did that feel as an individual and as an advocate for technology and spirituality? That must have been a huge accomplishment for you.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it was very exciting to be featured next to Elon Musk and to be able to have the opportunity to talk about frequency therapy and technology in the space where that's really heading to. And yeah, so just very, very exciting, but mostly just exciting to get that message out there, you know, how incredible the new tools, actually, they're not even new. They're actually, many of these are ancient wisdom that is in new technology, which is what I think is so incredible. But now we're able to bring it to the world. You know, these are sort of technologies that have been suppressed time and time again by people that maybe don't want to allow this kind of healing to happen in the world. But we can't do that anymore because enough people know about it, love it, and want to share it. And so to have something like Forbes be able to come to us and, you know, and just, you know, ask their opinion on frequency technology, it was an honor.
Super good.
Yeah, frequency technology has been around, specifically more in Germany, for over 20 years. And like you mentioned, is ancient wisdom. It is hidden secrets of the past. And, you know, if you go back to old times, there's so much we don't know. And, you know, being an Akashic reader and having read hundreds and thousands of past life incarnations, I will say this, most of history is not documented. So I love that we are moving into an age, especially the new Aquarius age, of curiosity and opening up mindset to different types of tools and technology. So let's talk about frequency healing, because I know it's new to a lot of individuals and a lot of people have a hard time wrapping their energy around frequency healing. Even when we explain it at a cellular level, we're trillions and trillions of cells, and this, you know, specifically speaking, some technologies can tap into those cells and measure them in a way, send them vibrational needs. And we see a lot of that more in therapy, like acupressure and, you know, some types of other devices that are more of a vibration. However, Healy is a tool that both of you have gone deeper in, as well as myself. And I'm so grateful to have two experts of Healy on the show today, because you've also supported others around the world in understanding how powerful this technology is. So without further ado, I would love for you to introduce frequency healing and really in the context of how Healy is able to do that for people at an individual level, and then also have helped others in building out in their businesses and their entire well-being as well. So we'd love for you to take it from here and explain frequency healing from an energetic standpoint as well.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I'll do this at a very simplistic level because, you know, this technology is created by geniuses and quantum physicists and people way smarter than we are.
For sure.
But, you know, I think we all know now, you know, that we are all made of energy. And I think especially over the last 20 years, science has now, you know, proven that we are energy and everything in the universe is, including us. And I often think, one of the easiest ways to break down of thinking really about frequency and how that's really helping. One is that frequency is, if you like, the language of energy. It's the language of the universe. And so it's able to actually give instructions, if you like, to the energy parts of us. Now, it can feel a bit strange to be like, how are we energy when we're this this solid feeling matter? But if we break our bodies down, we are these 9 different systems, so cardiovascular system and nervous system, etc. And we break those down that are made up of tissues and molecules, tissues and cells, and those cells are made up of molecules. Those molecules are atoms. We break that down even further. We've got subatomic particles, and then we have energy around that. And we are able to tap into that energy. And so you can imagine, if we're able to, with frequency, talk to that energy, we're able to go up the chain and create a reaction, because it all starts at that energetic level, for the body to be able to induce healing or, remove sort of discomfort or disease, all those sorts of things out of our body. And so that's ultimately how frequency therapy, if you like, works. We have an incredible tool. Yes, this technology has been around for actually thousands and thousands of years, the energy healers of the world, of the ancient world, always knew about this and would tap into this. It has been something that has been around probably for like 100 years. You'd see things like Tesla and whatnot who were really diving into this space. And certainly over the last 20 years, frequency therapy and frequency technology has rapidly grown, particularly in his home country, Germany. And now we're really starting to see it becoming more into the mainstream. And so we have a personal frequency device called Healy. As all of us on here are avid users of this incredible device. You've probably got yours on. I know you've got yours on.
I got mine on right here.
Nice.
What program are you running, Sarah? What is the program?
I'm doing Coherence right now. Yeah, which is a new one that was just launched and is all about getting your life into alignment. And man, it is magic. Let me tell you, I'm just like, where has this thing been all my life? I'm so grateful to have had Healy, during this pandemic. Personally speaking, it's been a tool I've used to, anytime I felt a little off or sick or, not being able to get the same treatment like before. A lot of us avoided the hospitals in the last year. So having this tool actually has changed my life in unexpected ways. So with, obviously the two of you have introduced this tool to many different countries and thousands of people. What is one thing, one common thing you've noticed about people that are first introduced to the tool that really resonates with you over and over again when you see that, when it opens up a perspective of, oh, wow, I could see how this can help my life in a new way?
I would say this is the amazing thing about this device or frequency and energy, because there is no common target group for this one. You don't need to look for a specific symptom or problem, because everything is energy. Everything is made out of energy. So the question is, what do you want to improve in your life or in your state or in your situation right now? Whatever it is, there is a frequency for that. So if you're tired right now, use the energy frequency program. There's a program on it with hundreds of different frequencies. They are all there to boost the energy in your cells, to make you emotional sharp, to make you mentally sharp, to make you fit. And whatever, ask yourself, if you can't sleep in one night, there's a sleeping frequency program. If you're not happy with your face, there's even anti-aging frequency programs, So whatever it is, there's a frequency program for it. And this is the amazing thing. So really, it depends completely on the market we are in. If I'm going back to Germany, for example, in Germany, it's a medical device. It's a medical class 2 device for anxiety, depression, chronic pain, the word I can't pronounce.
Fibromyalgia.
Thank you. And for all these things, right? So when we talk there, most of the people that come because they have some pain, they have some little issues and so forth. If we go, for example, we stayed in Bali the last year. It's a very conscious community, very spiritual, They use it basically for meditation on steroids. They use the chakra programs, they feel the energy and the frequency in the body. So it really depends on who you talk to. But in general, we say like everybody who's biohacking, and I think everyone should be biohacking. Everybody should be looking for, how can I improve my life, my state of being by just 1% or 0.5%, or even just make my sleep better, whatever it is, right? This is our target group. Or conscious people who want to see and feel more awareness, who want to get more intuitive, who want to, dive deeper inside of them.
Or not even conscious people. One of the things, I think your question really was, what's the number one thing that makes you go, oh, wow, with this? We often say that this is the Trojan horse to spirituality, because people will use this device because they're in pain, or because they're a biohacker and they're wanting to get more performance, or they want longer hair, or whatever it might be that they're using it for. But all of a sudden, they start to feel way more connected to themselves, to source, to each other, to nature, to the environment. And that is something that time and time again, we will be talking to people. In fact, we did this interview with some biohackers like maybe 6 months ago. And every single one of them, they're like, yeah, I did it because I wanted these hot abs and da-da-da-da. And they're like, but my relationship with myself and my mother has completely transformed. Right. And my relationship to humanity has transformed. That's one of the most beautiful things that we find that happens with Healy.
It does create this awareness. Really, people become the master of their own self again. It's like, stop looking external for answers. Usually it's always you have some issue and you look for external answers. But when you start becoming more aware, you look internal. You understand what is good for you, what is not good for you. Who's the person who drags you down? Who's the energy? Who has the energy? Who carries the energy? Who puts you up? You kind of start sensing that and feeling that. And this is really common with everybody who's using Healy. They become more self-aware. They become more the master of themselves and become ultimately more happy, I would say. Ultimately more happy and more connected.
Yep. Beautiful. I love that. And, that is the age of Aquarius, right? It's that community. It's moving for the greater good. It's moving into conscious creation and not consumer, right? It's conscious consumer, conscious creator. And in that is for the greater good. And so I feel like with Healy and what you both are expressing is, it's always going to start somewhere. And usually, humans, we get to a place of having to build up, right? Rebuild, right? And so it takes a lot to tear us down. And sometimes we don't even have to be teared down to rebuild. And I feel like that's what this tool does, is it keeps you in a space of balance and harmony to a point where you get clarity, not to say all the answers are there, but because you're not feeling that pain or depression or anxiety, you now have more space. And in that space, you're able to get that clarity. And like you mentioned, there's also programs for clarity. And I've used it before and it works. It just blows my mind.
And that's your experience, Sarah. You're using Healy since how long now?
So it's almost been a year. I got my device in June and I started with just receiving the frequency healing. And then I moved into the remote version of that and used it to pull analysis on, my chickens, my dogs, my home, my business, myself, my husband, and also what's beautiful about Healy is, it could be just a device you receive healing from, or it could be a device that informs you. And so I mentioned to both of you, I use it with my clients to send them chakra analysis and go through their data and understand, where they're at in the evolution of their journey, because the chakra analysis is fascinating on the intensity levels and, how specific this is to, your evolution and where you might be challenged or blocked. And to have that perspective in data is fascinating to people, because I'm an intuitive, so I can pull this information intuitively, but to actually have data to showcase that. And when I had a brick and mortar, we had another aura reader that did that as a biofeedback machine that gave you an analysis. So when we had to close the store due to the pandemic, I was devastated. I lost my aura tool, and then here comes Healy with this analysis. So I use it for physical, mental, spiritual, and it is, to me, I call it my virtual Reiki master. It's it's my partner. It's absolutely a device I believe in, and not only that, but my clients also have been able to develop relationship and use it for their own practices, their own family, their own personal needs. I have a client with stage 4 cancer that's been able to use it during that process and has seen very great results with having less side effects. So, just to add on to everything you all added, it is a very game-changing device.
Yeah, it is. I mean, this is ultimately why we do what we do, right? We have a group on Facebook called the Frequency Experience. And we have now, I think, 58,000 members in this group who sharing life-changing testimonials. We have thousands and thousands of testimonials. Every morning we go into this group and we look at the new testimonials, and it's just it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable how people change their life. Whatever they're fighting with, whatever their challenges it's amazing to see that, right? And so we really make it to our mission to go around the world. And that's why we're also here in America to have a tour, to meet as many people as possible, to share this message with so many people as possible. Because this is like when we have the ability to start healing ourselves, to start becoming aware again, and our master again, this is it's peace, it's freedom, for most of the people, and it's our mission, and I think this is so beautiful, and that's why thank you so much also for having us on, Sarah. Like, it's beautiful also that you found Healy for yourself and you can share it with your community. We're trying our best to share it around the world. It will be shared to many, many millions of people in the next couple of years, of course. But now for the next 2 months, actually, we're here in America and try really to share it as many times as possible here as well.
Yeah. Beautiful. So glad to have you. And, with that, any words of wisdom, as you both have traveled around the world and, seen a lot of change within different cultures and different societies, any words of wisdom that you've seen amongst your travels, or even adopting this new technology into your life and leading people all around the world, just to remind people, when they're coming up challenges or fears or limitations, any last reminders or anything that you would like to share just as a voice of reason or, inspiration with the listeners?
Sure. I mean, I would really love for your listeners to know that their energy is the most important tool that they have. And it is, if you can really tune into it, it helps really guide you to exactly the life that you want, exactly the things that you need. So, like I feel for myself and everyone that's around us, my energy is my most important asset, and it's my most precious asset too. And so because of that, I make sure I'm in environments that I love, that I'm always growing, I'm always stretching, I'm always using my Healy. So I guess one of my last words would be just really honor your energy and really look after your energy and start tuning into it even more. And the more you tune into it, the more you will be guided to whatever decision it is that you're looking in your life, whether it is that you want to break through some fear that's coming up and move through that. Look at these as these incredible, look at your own energy as this incredible tool that ultimately guides you to what your heart truly, truly desires to do on this planet.
And what is one example of how you've done that for yourself lately? Because I just love giving real life examples, and you're such a powerful woman. So I would just love, like, whatever fear you want. You don't have to get too personal, but whatever fear you'd like to share or challenge you are able to overcome by applying those principles to your life.
Well, I mean, even I guess just the example of how I live my life, I once was in a corporate job, and of course, leaving that is scary. Leaving the a 6-figure a year income to travel the world, but I knew that I wanted something more for my life. So even though that was scary, even though I had to overcome that fear, because I overcame that fear, I now live in one of the most beautiful islands in the world. I live in Bali in Indonesia. That was always my dream. I can travel anywhere in the world because I overcame that fear of letting go of what society said I should be doing and honoring and really listening to what I knew I should be doing. And I now, I create an incredible income sharing Healy around the world. I get to travel with awesome high vibe people all the time and surround myself around that. And that was ultimately because I made that decision that my fear was not going to hold me back, and that I had to just take that leap. Everything you want is on the other side of whatever it is that you fear the most. And we're talking to that guy today, and he's like, I'm fear getting on a plane. And I'm like, guy, that's what you got to go do. You've got to go do that, because when you overcome that, like the rewards are so incredible. And so, yeah, I think just facing your fear, no matter what it is, and knowing that the universe will have your back. You will be supported if you keep facing your fear and you keep making the choice to keep growing and taking that next step forward and leading in. You will be supported and looked after. I see it in my own life. I see it in Max's life. I see it in all of our lives.
Yeah.
And you do that.
Beautiful. I always love the acronym. Fear is false evidence appearing real.
Right.
And, it is. And Max, with that, any last words of wisdom for the listeners?
Well, maybe since arriving in America, I think what's important also to know is to start being open-minded, like not stupid. Like I did many decisions that were just stupid, jumping into things that are not so smart. But I believe to have the middle way, just be open-minded, be skeptical, healthy skeptical, and say like, okay, I'm going to believe what somebody tells me until you prove me wrong, for example. So don't allow yourself to close the door just because you don't know. So whatever is out there might be true, even though you don't know it yet. Okay, so we need to ask those questions we haven't asked ourselves before in order to get those answers we haven't answered before. So I think a good idea is always keep an open mind, be out there and look for these opportunities, for this magic out there in the world, because there is so much magic and we're just getting started.
Ooh, I love that. Yes, be curious. What is this? What is it here for me? What is possible? And I love that because it reminds me of that saying that is whatever our goal or vision is like 10% of the possibility. Like we can consciously only tap into probably even 5% of that reality. And there's 95 that we can't see. Right. We have no idea. And when we align ourselves to the greater good, our passions, love, and, serving for what we're here to do that speaks to our heart, you're right. The universe will have your back. And I've seen it. I left a 15-year career as well and literally decided to become a healer and decided I'm going to open my healing practice. And I did, and have been doing it now for over 4 years and have served thousands of clients I never would have had I told myself I had to stay in that 15-year career to maintain my home and my desires and, what I truly want to create. And the truth is, yeah, it requires a lot of risk taking, a lot of belief in yourself, but the magic's there. And there's so many tools, there's so many resources. So if you're like, I want to learn more about Healy, go ahead and check out energyhauslb.com. There's a free 20-minute consultation you can set up with me and my team, and we'll dive you into all of the technology. Obviously, reach out to Taryn and Max as well. They're amazing conduits, and I'm so grateful to have both of you on my show today. Thank you for taking time out of your schedule, for sharing all of your knowledge, all of your wisdom. It has been such an honor. Best wishes to both of you. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. Thanks for having us.
All right, we'll talk soon. Bye. And with that, this is Sara Wong with Master Your Energy. Have a powerful week, and just remember to really tap into those new beginnings with curiosity and trust within yourself, because this is a time of rapid change. This is a time of forward movement, and whatever is presenting itself is because you're ready to break free and you're ready to create that new beginning. So with that, have a beautiful day, and I'll see you next week at 4 p.m. Thank you for tuning in to Master Your Energy. I'm your host, Sara Wong, and it's always my honor to connect every Tuesday here on KCAA Radio, the station that leaves no listener behind. And every Tuesday, we get to dive into the energy that's all around us and connect to like-minded individuals. So if you enjoyed this episode, be sure to check out the replays or tune in live here on KCAA Radio. And with that, if you also are looking for other tools to go deeper with your energy healing needs, make sure to check out energyhauslb.com. You'll find an offer of services and products from crystals, essential oils, and so much more. So be sure to check out energyhauslb.com. That's energyhauslb.com. And I'm your host, Sara Wong, here with Master Your Energy, and it's been an honor. Have a beautiful week. I'll see you next Tuesday at 4 p.m.